What's going on, everybody?
Good.
Just good. Come on, y'all can do better than that.
Yeah.
There we go. It is Wednesday. Did you guys know today is World Read Aloud Day?
No.
You didn't know that? Well, I'm here to tell you guys that it's World Read Aloud Day. So that means all over the world, everybody is going to be listening to stories being read aloud. How cool is that?
Yeah. Cool.
And we are kicking it off here at SAISD, here at Reagan, one of the best elementary schools in the world. And I'm here to read a story to you guys today to kick off World Read Aloud Day. How does that sound?
Great.
Great? Just great? That sounds awesome to me. Amazing. Yes. I like that good vocabulary, all right? So I'm really excited to read this story. And to all that are watching on Facebook Live, we are live right now, ready to kick this off. So excited. One of my most favorite things to do is read stories aloud. I do it at home with my own kids, and I used to do it all the time in the classroom, and I miss it. So I'm really excited about this opportunity. So thank you guys. Thank you, Miss Tyner, for allowing me to come on her birthday, by the way, to come and read to you guys. So I'm super excited about that, all right? So y'all want to see what I brought to us for you guys to read? All right, so as you guys know, February is Black History Month, so I thought it'd be a great idea to read this story right here. It is titled Whoosh. Whoosh. Yeah, I like that sound right there. All right, and this story it's called Whoosh by Chris Barton, and thank you, Scholastic Education, for giving us permission to read this story aloud to you guys. So this is going to be a great story, but I want you guys to look at this real quick. All right, the title is what?
Whoosh.
Okay, so every time we see this word, I need you guys to go ahead and give it your best whoosh. Can we practice for a minute? What's that?
Whoosh.
Whoosh. So every time you see that word, because you see how big it is, it's in all capital letters, all right, that means that it needs to have some epicness that comes behind it, some emphasis when you say that. Practice one more time. Whoosh. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect, because I'm going to need you guys to do that. So this book is by Chris Barton. It's titled Whoosh, all right? And this guy here, his name is Lonnie Johnson, and he is an engineer, an inventor, and he happened to invent something that I am willing to bet that everybody in this room is familiar with. Okay, so just looking at the picture here, what do you think this Lonnie Johnson could have perhaps possibly invented? What are you thinking? Ma?
Sort of like a water gun.
Ah. If you agree with Maya, give me a thumbs up like that was what you were thinking as well. Okay, well, based on the title and the picture, and it also says it's Lonnie Johnson's super soaking stream of inventions. So Ma, I think you might be onto something, and the rest of you guys, I think you guys are onto it. John, did you have something you wanted to say?
Even he's holding like a rocket.
Oh, okay. So I will tell you that Lonnie Johnson invented a lot of things, okay? And this is definitely going to address all of those different things. But one of the big things we're going to focus on here is perhaps that super soaker, okay? Now, you guys have a STEM lab upstairs, right? Yeah. Okay, and there's a lot of different things to build and put together, all that stuff, right? Okay, well, engineers live that exact same life. That's why we got you guys preparing and getting ready for that now. All right? Sometimes you build things. Does it work out the first time? No. The second time? No. Yeah. All right. Do you give up? Do you just say, never mind?
No.
No, you got to keep trying, right? Okay, so as we read this story, I want you guys to be thinking, and you guys listening, wherever you are, I want you to be thinking about Lonnie Johnson and how you would describe him. What type of characteristics does he have? And listen to the different things that he does throughout this story and think about, how would I describe Lonnie Johnson? Okay? So you guys be thinking about that. So you guys ready to hear it?
Yeah.
Let's practice one more time. What's the title?
Whoosh.
Okay, you're ready. Okay, well, super excited to read this story. So this is Whoosh by Chris Barton. All right. And don't you worry, guys, I'll show you the pictures all over the place, so you won't miss a thing.
I can see it.
All right. Every day brought a challenge for young Lonnie Johnson. The challenge of finding space for his stuff. 6 Johnson kids were squeezed into their parents' small house in Mobile, Alabama. Lonnie would have loved a workshop of his own, but there wasn't any room. There was nowhere to keep his rocket kits. I mean, you guys know that feeling. I know I had that feeling. My wife bakes cookies and there are cookie contraptions all over the place. There's just not enough room for all of that. And we don't have 6 people in our house, so you can imagine all the stuff that he had. Your mom does? I'll bet. Check that out. So that there was nowhere to keep his rocket kits, bamboo shooters, rubber band guns, erector set, go-kart engine, bolts and screws and other spare parts his dad let him bring in from the shed, and various other things he'd haul back from the junkyard. So he's got a lot of stuff. So I assume it kind of looks like the inside of Johnny's desk, probably. I'm just playing. Lonnie loved building and creating. Ideas for inventions just kept on flowing. So check that out. Yeah, it's got all kinds of stuff. My son loves these little stomp rocket things, you know what I'm talking about, where you step on them and they shoot off like that. Oh yeah, he's got one of those over here. He learned how to make rockets from scratch. Kids at school gathered to watch Lonnie launch them. And he learned how to make rocket fuel. When it caught fire in the kitchen, Lonnie's mom didn't make him stop. She just sent him to work outside. Huh. Why do you think she sent him to work outside? What are you thinking?
Because it was on fire.
I mean, yeah, it's probably best to do those kind of things not inside. I was a smart mama. I don't even know if I'd let him do it outside if I were her, but you know. It says, Lonnie wanted to spend his life designing things, building things, and getting them to work. He wanted to be an engineer. However, Lonnie took an exam that said he would not make a very good one. His dream had been challenged. Lonnie was discouraged, but he knew whoever had graded his test hadn't met Linux. Now, first of all, have we ever had those moments where we felt discouraged, like we thought this was something we needed to do, and then something happened or somebody told us something and it changed our view? We're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Oh man, I really wanted to. I really thought that was my thing. I really thought I could sing, and then someone told me I'd never make it as a singer. And then I'm like, oh man. So in those moments, did you give up? Did you just say, well, I guess I need to figure out something else to do? Yeah, well, do you think Lonnie's gonna do that?
No.
I hope not, because there's a... Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Now, he said no one, if they said that he couldn't do it, they must have never met Linux. Who do you think Linux is? What are you thinking?
The boy?
Okay, maybe. What do you think?
I was going to say the same thing.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, whoever Linux is just the pure confirmation that Lonnie's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So let's find out who Linux is. Inspired by a TV show, Linux had built his own robot. He made it out of scrap metal and named it Linux. Huh, I'm imagining that Linux probably looked a little something like this, huh? Yeah. So that's why I have this guy. Some of you guys were wondering, why does he have this robot sitting next to me, right? Yeah. I was just like, oh, us too. Well, because Lonnie Johnson made a robot named...
Linux.
Yeah, well, let's see. It says compressed air cylinders and valves allowed Linux's body to turn and his arms to move. The switches came from an old broken jukebox. Lonnie used the tape recorder to program Linux. And as a bonus, the reels looked like eyes. Lonnie wanted to enter his creation in a science fair, but he couldn't get the transmitter to work. Without it, Lonnie couldn't send commands to Linux. So he's trying to work on the thing and he's trying to tell it what to do and he can't quite get it to do what it needs to do. Should he just give up and try something else?
No.
Well, let's see. Science fairs came and went. Lonnie missed one and then another until he got an idea. Now, Lonnie may or may not have asked before borrowing his little sister's walkie-talkie. What do you think he's going to do with the walkie-talkie? Aiden, what do you think he's going to do with the walkie-talkie?
He's probably gonna put it in.
Let's find out. But it fixed the transmission issue. His school's team took freshly finished Linux to a 1968 science fair at the University of Alabama, where only 5 years earlier, African American students hadn't even been allowed. So 5 years before this, he wouldn't have been able to even come and enter this in the first place. Check that out. Having to compete in a place that still wasn't very welcoming, now that was a challenge with a capital C. I like the way the author did that there. He said with a capital C, which means what? Like this is a what? Okay, this is a big one. You guys are fourth graders, so I know you guys are writing and doing a lot of that good stuff, right? When you emphasize something by saying it's with a capital, that means it means big business, right? That's why they capitalize our names, because we're big deals. So it's like, my name is Mr. Ligon with a capital L, you know what I'm saying? So this was definitely a big challenge for him. But so far, what do we know about Lonnie? Is he up for the challenge?
Yes.
Well, let's hope that it continues that way. Against other schools from all over the state, Lonnie's team won first place. Yeah, you can clap and celebrate that. Yeah. So check this out, guys. Soon, Lonnie left home to go to college at Tuskegee Institute, where he stood out as a self-confident, insightful, creative thinker. Just like all of you guys. By the way, he stood out as a student who asked the right questions, precisely defined problems, and formulated solutions. You guys do that all the time in your classrooms, in the STEM lab. This is what we do, right? Yeah. We're always asking questions. We're always looking at problems and figuring out what's the best way to solve them. And that is what we do. And that's what Lonnie's doing. So think about this as you guys are hearing this, what you can take from this when you go back into your classroom and just for the rest of your lives. And he stood out as the guy who built his own booming sound system out of cast-off electronics. It even had lights that flashed in sync with the beat. I mean, I want to go to this party. Look at this. Everybody's dancing and the lights are flashing, and he invented that. Isn't that crazy?
And it looks like all the old people, back in the old days where they used to have afros as a style.
Back in the old days. I could have an afro now if I wanted one. Maybe. No, not at all. I used to. No. So, Lonnie sometimes studied right in the middle of his own parties. The extra studying paid off. He became an engineer after graduation, and that took him beyond Alabama. Way beyond. Wow. What do y'all think about Lonnie? Even at a party, he's in the middle of a party, and what is he doing?
Studying.
So what's one word we can use to describe Lonnie already? What do we know? He's a what? Okay. Okay, but he's during this party, everybody's dancing and having a good time, and he's studying. What was that? What was that? I heard it over here. You? What'd you say? Can you say it a little bit louder for the live? Said he's a hard worker. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I also think he's pretty dedicated, right? When you're dedicated, what is dedicated? When you're dedicated to something, that means that you are committed to working at it until you get it the way it needs to be done. So whether there's a party going on, you got something else to do, you are dedicated to studying and taking care of your business. And that's what he did there. He's just like, I got to get that done. And it took him way beyond. I wonder how beyond he went. Let's see. When NASA, you guys know what NASA is, right? When NASA was sending an orbiter and probe called Galileo to Jupiter, the space agency needed to ensure a constant supply of power to the orbiter's computer memory. The engineer who had to figure out how to do it was Lonnie. And that's some big major things. If they asked me to do that, we'd be in trouble. I'd be like, uh-oh, that's not on my smartness profile. His challenge was to come up with a lightweight backup system able to keep essential functions going in case the main power was lost. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to read that paragraph, right? It was just like, that's like some serious major stuff. It wasn't obvious, but Lonnie found a solution. Some at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory doubted his idea would work. Lonnie convinced them it would. He was right. Okay, anytime, guys, you have an idea, something, there's going to be somebody that's going to say, I doubt it. I don't think that's going to work. Should that just make you say, you're right, never mind, I'll do something else?
No.
Did Lonnie do that?
No.
Absolutely not. And that's a good thing that he didn't, because he was right. As it photographed Jupiter and its moons, Galileo was supported by the power package that Lonnie designed. Much of what we know about Jupiter could have been at risk in a power failure if not for Lonnie. So wow, glad that Lonnie kept at that, right? Yeah. So good job, Lonnie. All right, so check this out. Ideas for other problems to solve just kept on flowing. They flowed whether Lonnie was working with hundreds of people at NASA or up late tinkering with his own inventions in, finally, his own workshop. What was the thing that he wanted from the very beginning?
Workshop.
And he has finally got his own workshop that he can just do what he needs to do. See, honey, you might get your own cookie workshop one day and you can just have it all at it. Just keep dreaming like Lonnie did. Lonnie knew the world's millions of refrigerators and air conditioners needed a new cooling system. One that didn't use R12, a chemical that was bad for the environment. He had an idea for using water and air pressure instead. To test this idea, he had a pump and a nozzle, connected them to the bathroom faucet, turned on the faucet, turned on the pump, and then, let me hear you, whoosh. The stream that blasted across the bathroom was so powerful, it created a curtain swirling breeze. It also gave Lonnie an idea for yet another invention. What do you think that invention is? What do you think, everybody?
Water gun.
Oh, let's see. This, he thought, would make a great water gun. First, he had to find or make the parts, including a pump small enough for a child to handle. Then he had to glue the parts together into a prototype, an early version with room for improvement. Okay, so he didn't have to get it all the way perfect, but he needed to create something that we could see it and say, we get the point. We see what you're trying to do there. Let's see how this goes, guys. Finally, let me fix my book a little bit so this isn't whipping around here. All right. Finally, Lonnie tested his strange-looking squirt gun at a picnic. Does it really work? A man asked. Sure, Lonnie said. Want to see? Lonnie worked the pump, which squeezed air into a chamber. When he pulled the trigger, the air escaped, forcing water out with a whoosh! Woo! Y'all are getting good. Looky there. For a water battle to be a fair fight, there couldn't be just one of Lonnie's water guns. He needed help making more. So he went to toy company after toy company after toy company after toy company after toy company. What does that mean? If he's going one after another, what do you think is happening at all these toy companies that he's going to? What are you thinking?
He's making a lot of toy guns.
Okay, well, he's going because he needs some help, somebody to help him make them. And he's going to another one and another one and another one. What do you think is happening?
Maybe he's gonna buy more and probably get the idea to make a new invention.
Okay.
Of how the gun looks like.
Perhaps, but why didn't he just stop at the first toy company? Why don't it just like it goes to one? Why do you have to keep going to another one?
What do you think they're telling him?
Okay, well, he's asking for help. It's just like if they said yeah, then he'd have to stop. What do you think? They're saying they can't make it. All right, so what are you thinking? Looky here in this picture there. What do they look like they're all saying? What does it say? No, 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 no. So he was going to toy company after toy company, and all of them were telling him, no, sorry, we can't help you, dude. Can't help you, can't help you. Well, what we know about Lonnie, is he gonna stop? Is he gonna be like, oh, okay, well, thank you for your time. Let's see. Well, let's see. The word no flowed again and again, but finally, one company said
Yes.
it planned to make his water gun. Lonnie also had other projects, a water-propelled toy airplane, 2 kinds of engines, and his cooling system. He had found investors to provide the money for turning his ideas into products people could buy. He made a leap of faith, quit his day job, and devoted himself to full-time inventing. All right, so he's got all of these ideas. He's quit his job. He's like, this is my focus. This is what I'm going to do. Does that surprise you guys when it comes to what we know about Lonnie?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. As hard as he's working and the things that he's doing, of course he would keep going, whether he just put it all on the line. I'm quitting my job. I'm going to work on this. But soon, each plan fell apart. Even the one for the water gun. These things sometimes happen. But when they happen, one after another, to the same person, well, that's some pretty bad luck. Lonnie didn't have a job. He didn't have the money he'd been counting on. He and his family had to move out of their home and into a little apartment. He was angry and scared. Why do you think he was angry and scared? Scared especially. Why do you think he was scared? Johnny, what are you thinking?
It's because I was thinking that he was scared because their apartment was small.
All right, he went and had to move into a smaller apartment and move his family there. I mean, I'd be kind of scared too. Just like, man, did I make the right decision? Did I do the right thing? So I understand. And I can understand him being a little angry too. He's kind of put it all out there. And so far, it just hasn't quite gone the way he wanted it to. But Lonnie had dealt with challenges all his life. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Starting from when he was younger. Starting with this guy. All right? So he's not a stranger to challenges. He knew a lot about solving problems. And he still believed in his inventions, especially the water gun. Lonnie went looking for another toy company. All right. So he hadn't given up. He's looking for another toy company. Somebody's going to tell him yes, right?
Yeah.
Let's hope so. In 1989, he found a toy maker who was interested in seeing the water gun if Lonnie ever happened to be in Philadelphia. But don't make a special trip, the guy said. Don't make a special trip. What do y'all think Lonnie did?
He made a special trip.
Lonnie made a special trip. All right. Yeah, right? We know too. We know what we know now about Lonnie. If you tell Lonnie don't come, Lonnie's gonna come, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's an opposite listener.
Absolutely. Well, when it comes to following his dream, yes. In his wife's suitcase, he carried a new prototype. He unpacked it, filled the tank with water, pumped the gun until the air pressure was good and high, and what do y'all think was about to happen? Whoosh! Y'all, this is in a meeting. That means he went to a meeting, opened that bad boy up, and shot them all with a water gun. It's just like, I would have been like, could you have warned us about that? I would have worn my bathing suit to this meeting. But check this out. This is one of my favorite parts of this book, and I want you guys to see what the word is. All right, so it says whoosh here, but when I open this up, what does it look like they're saying? What are they saying?
Wow!
Wow, right? So, wow's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
How did he do that?
Well, you know, it's called hard work. So check it out, check it out. So let's see here.
And wow.
Kids everywhere agreed with that wow. Lonnie's water gun, called the Super Soaker, became a smash hit. In no time, there were super soakers in backyards and on beaches, in parks, and on playgrounds. Each sale of a Super Soaker put a little money into Lonnie's pocket. All those hours, all those years that Lonnie spent in his workshop had paid off big time. Now he could afford to do just about anything he wanted. So, what did Lonnie do?
He made another invention.
He got a bigger workshop,
Oh no.
which is where you'll find him today.
What? He's still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Really?
Died.
No, guys, he is up. So check this out. Because facing challenges, solving problems, and building things are what Lonnie Johnson loves to do. And his ideas just keep on flowing. And that is the end of Whoosh. So, what do you guys think about Lonnie Johnson? If I told you guys to think about how you would describe Lonnie, what's one word that you would use?
A great inventor.
A great inventor, for sure, for sure. What else, Aiden?
Hard work.
A hard worker. What else?
Opposite listener.
He's an opposite listener. That means he doesn't give up and he'll keep on. Even if you tell him he can't, he's going to keep going. Absolutely. And you guys can do that exact same thing. That's why this is such an awesome story, and he's such a great inspiration. He's still alive to this day, and he is still inventing. He's got a lot of different things that he's invented and contributed to inventing. And so when you guys are upstairs in that STEM lab and you guys are putting things together, if it doesn't work out the first time or the second time or the third time, keep trying. These things, the things that your teachers and all of us are providing for you guys, are to give you guys the opportunities to create and invent and be those problem solvers and be those thinkers that one day you may start off with a robot like this, and you can end up creating something that we play with in our backyards or we find useful later on, something that we don't even know about yet. You guys are the future. You guys listening, you guys are our future. We want you guys to continue creating and problem solving, and never let anybody tell you you can't, because you can. All right? So I want to thank you guys for listening and reading with us. This has been great. It's World Read Aloud Day, so I hope that you guys get to hear more stories all day long, and definitely keep reading. You guys gonna keep reading for me?
Yes.
All right, you guys gonna keep reading for me out there? All right, so keep reading, San Angelo, and you guys have a wonderful day. Give yourselves a round of applause, because you guys are awesome. Thank y'all so much.